Diana Ross did what to Michael Jackson? I just found something out, and I think it's worth sharing.
Okay, so the people have been asking and waiting about the Diana Ross and Michael Jackson love story. Let's talk about it. So, Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, they met when Michael was 11 years old and she was 25.
Did not want anyone to talk about Michael. He was her boy toy, and that was known around all the circles.
Okay, I love Michael Jackson. I do, always will, always have. However, I have to admit, during my search about him and Diana Ross, it's showing me that Michael was a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And let's talk about it. So in 1988, Michael Jackson bought a home and he named it Neverland. You know his famous home, Neverland. And here is the room inside of his home. And this room is dedicated to Diana Ross. It is a shrine room. Pepsi officials, they did a tour of his home and they said that he had pictures filled with Diana all over the walls, like at every angle. They said that there were hundreds of candles sitting on shelves, tables on the floors, like it was candles everywhere. And guess how long he kept the candles lit? 24/7. Baby, that's witchcraft. And see, his brothers have always said that he have an obsession with Diana Ross. They can say it the nicest way they want to, but they have always said that he had an obsession with Diana Ross. And see, this obsession and this praise for this woman, a shrine room, it just shows you the effects of him being groomed by her. He said she was like a mother to him, a sister to him, and a romantic lover. I've never heard anyone ever say that, ever. Mind you, he's been under her wing since he was 10 years old and she was 24. So just imagine the mental damage that has done. And on my next video, I want to talk about, more of their relationship. But I just wanted to put this on a single video because, I feel like, I wanted to start this series off with just like making 1 or 2 videos. But then as I've been doing my research, I've been realizing if I want to talk about everything, I'm going to have to make separate videos, or else these videos would last for 10 minutes long. And y'all ain't got the attention span for that. So, hey. But yeah, so I will be making other videos. Stay tuned. This is allegedly, this is for TikTok entertainment purposes only.
Please, please, I don't have any time for any gossip now. Eh? Yes.
Look at you.
Do something with it.
It's just money coming to me easily. Money coming in and needing me. Money coming in repeatedly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me always. Money coming in all day. Money coming in all pay. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me frequently. Money coming in to be with me. Money coming in secretly. Money coming, it's just money coming. It's just money coming to me.
Alright, so today with Conspiracies with Bree Bree, we're going to talk about these two again. So before there was a conspiracy saying they might have been son and mother. There's also a conspiracy that said they might have been secret lovers. And we all know that Michael did have love for her, but what kind of love did he really have? And was it reciprocated? Diana Ross has been around Michael since he was a child. Before his family could come out to California, he even lived with her for a little bit. People have said that Michael has been in love or had a crush on her since he was a child. Of course, she couldn't reciprocate it at that time, but it's said in the 80s that she did. Apparently in the mid 80s, he actually proposed to her and she said yes. They say you can see the ring at the Motown anniversary where he did the iconic moonwalk. And at the AMAs, you see her kiss him. How the story goes is that Michael told his mother about it because he was really close to his mom, but his mom did not approve. She did not like that she was 14 years older than her son. As they started to tell other people, they started calling her a cradle robber, and she just couldn't deal with the pressure. So she told Michael they had to go back to their platonic friendship and that she couldn't do it anymore. It's never been confirmed or denied. What do y'all think?
Diana Ross did what to Michael Jackson? I just found something out, and I think it's worth sharing. But before I share it, a 1 and a 2 and
Once upon a time in Hollywood.
There was some strange shit going on between Diana Ross and Michael Jackson. I mean, really strange. The kind of strange that made me question, what did Mike really mean when he called Diana dirty?
let's slow down just a little bit. Met Michael when he was 9. He moved into her house at 11 years old. They were in love by the 80s. Is this the price of fame? Why he at that lady house?
And if you think I'm implying what I'm not explicitly stating, you're right. And today I wanted to bring it to your attention. Now, mind you, this is a woman who met Michael Jackson when he was just 9 years old, and she would have been 23 at the time. So what their relationship eventually grew to be is just strange. But because she's Diana Ross and he's Michael Jackson, this just completely flew right under the radar.
Now I know I live under a rock, but like, how many of y'all knew about this? This is crazy. I never heard this before in my life. Diana Ross, Tracy Ellis Ross, mommy. Y'all knew about this? Lock her up expeditiously, because she got nefarious intent. Felonious intent, really.
And we all know double standards exist, but let's just keep it a sieg. Y'all know damn well if the shoe was on the other foot and it was Michael, who was 14 years her senior and knew her since she was a 9-year-old little girl, y'all would have had a fit. And nobody would have a hard time labeling him a groomer.
And Michael and I, we're in love, and there's nothing to do about it. There's nothing to say. So,
Now, over the years, people speculated that because Diana Ross was the woman that took Michael Jackson's virginity, this is why he developed.
Y'all knew about that? Diana Ross took Michael Jackson's virginity. Y'all knew about that? Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck is going on?
Because Diana Ross was the woman that took Michael Jackson's virginity, this is why he developed an obsession for her.
I see she threw that allegedly in there. You got to throw that allegedly in there. Allegedly took his virginity. Hypothetically. Stay safe, creators.
Whether it was in his music or in his books or in his interviews, it was clear that Michael Jackson just couldn't get enough of Diana Ross. And to be fair, she fawned over him in her interviews as well.
Not to divert or get off topic, but I think we could have all seen what was going to happen to Michael Jackson, skin-wise, if we were just paying attention, because this got to be the most light-skinned thing I've ever heard of in my life. He even had a shrine of her in his house. Light-skinned shit. I feel like Michael Jackson will come home from like a hard day of moonwalking and then just like strip down and just like lay sideways and stare at the shrine, like while eating strawberries, A shrine is crazy. A whole shrine? Like how you got time for that? You the king of pop. You ain't, come on, a shrine?
To be fair, she fawned over him in her interviews as well. But because she was an older woman, she wasn't as careless and forthcoming about their relationship as Michael had been.
The older freaks know how to keep a secret. I didn't like that joke. As soon as I said I ain't like it.
So while Mike is going Diana in all his interviews, because she's older, she knows how to keep some level of decorum and mystery with regards to their relationship.
So Diana Ross was a very demure and mindful groomer. It seems to be the case. Allegedly, hypothetically, estimated guess. It's a guesstimate that she might be that.
She talked about it, she addressed it, but there was still some level of ambiguity. I mean, this interview could have easily been chalked up to her being facetious when she said she was in love with a boy that she met when he was 9. A little boy who she took in and became a surrogate mother to. But fuck that for right now. We'll get into this more in another part.
What? How you just cut the story off like that? It was becoming a thriller. Yeah, you got away with that ending real smooth. You a smooth criminal. I like your storytelling technique. I like the way you make me feel. I love Diana Ross, but if I find out that these allegations are true, she's out of my life.
You mentioned Michael Jackson. Are you still close to Michael?
I haven't seen Michael now in maybe 3-4 months. But sometimes relationships, no matter how far away you are or how long it is between relationships, there's still a closeness. I have the same thing with Stevie Wonder. Somehow, no matter where we are, there's this relationship. It's a friend. When we see each other, it's just like we saw each other yesterday. So I haven't seen Michael recently. I really always want to be in touch with him. I feel like I always want to know if he's okay, because I think he's delicate, and I feel like he's somebody that I care about. And if anybody has anything bad to say about him, don't say it to me, because I don't want to hear it, because he's someone I love and I care about a lot.
What do you think about his continued success?
His what?
Continued success.
Yes, I think it's great. And go right on.
Okay, so the people have been asking and waiting about the Diana Ross and Michael Jackson love story. Let's talk about it. So, Michael Jackson and Diana Ross, they met when Michael was 11 years old and she was 25. It was said that he was 9 years old at the time, but that was more so of a PR type of thing. I don't know why they do that in Hollywood, but that's what they do. Now, for this topic, I had to take a lot of notes because this is, history. Like their friendship and love thing they had going on was this is like 30 years worth of history. So I had to take me some notes, honey. So let's get into it. Okay, so Diana, she met Michael back when he was 10 years old, or 11. I don't know if his birthday came or not at the time, but she met him while he was at a charity event, I guess performing for Jackson 5, and she was there with Motown Records. Now, she is known as being the founder of Jackson 5. However, she is really not. It's really Gladys Knight. Gladys Knight really founded Jackson 5, but they gave the credit to Diana Ross because at the time she was doing the do with the Motown Records CEO. So yeah, she was sleeping with the Motown Records CEO, and then she ended up getting pregnant by him, and that was where she had her first child, who is her only, fully black child. So they ended up signing a deal with Motown Records, and they needed a place to stay in LA. Mind you, they're from the Jacksons are from Indiana. So Diana let them stay with her because, the CEO of Motown Records, he requested that she let, Jackson 5, Michael and his brothers to stay with her. And so she allowed it. So during this time of them staying together, she grew closely with Michael. They had this whole mother and son relationship at the time, but then he started to come of age at some point, and I guess that's when she started to get the googly eyes for him. I don't know, because ain't no one in hell you was looking at this little boy and being flattered by him. However, there are clips. There was this time when they had to do a performance. It was basically like an act, and he was acting like he was her husband, her boyfriend. He was her man, Michael Jackson. He was a little bitty boy. He was like that size, that age, doing this scene with Diana Ross, where basically he was her man, and he was basically like they were having like love issues or whatever. I don't know why they had a little bitty ass boy doing this with a grown woman. That is strange, but that's Hollywood. Michael often called her his girlfriend, his wife, his sister, his mother. He didn't know what he felt about this woman because she was kind of giving mixed signals. And Diana Ross, oh my gosh, that card. Diana Ross, she had a reputation of being very flirty. And I did my digging. I seen clips on YouTube, and I'm like, oh yeah, Diana was getting around, honey. One thing about it, she was getting around, honey. So, but anyways, what part am I on? But yeah, let's fast forward to when he got a little bit older. Let's say about 18, 19 years old, when he was doing The Wiz. So basically, there was rumors that the only reason why Diana was able to play as Dorothy is because she got Michael Jackson to do the role on The Wiz. Now the people, they wanted Michael Jackson to do it. He was he was popping at the time, whatever. They did not have any interest in I'm gonna say Whitney Houston, Diana Ross, because she was too old. She was 33 at the time. I forgot to add this part, but like I said, Dorothy, she was not supposed to be cast on this because she was too old, but she was very adamant about getting this role. So either the original director was fired or quit due to the fact that he disagreed with Cohen's decision. And Cohen is the executive producer of this, and he made a deal with Motown Records, for Diana to play in this film. So people got fired, people quit it. It upsetted people. It was kind of a controversy about Diana playing as Dorothy. Now, this is where it gets interesting. So they would go out, every night and party, just her and Michael alone, not the others. They wasn't even Jackson 5 anymore, I don't think. I think he was solo by then. No, he was not solo by then. He was still Jackson 5. Or maybe they wasn't even Jackson 5 anymore, but he wasn't solo yet. But anyways, they would go out and party all night, go to the club, go to these parties and stuff, and they'll be out all night. And then one day, they were late to the set on the Wiz, and so Diana's assistant, kept calling around, and guess where they found out that they were? They spent the night at Michael's house. So if you don't know, there's been a rumor going around for 35 years that Michael Jackson is the father of Evan Ross, Diana Ross's son. Now, I'm not gonna lie, first I was saying, oh, he don't look nothing like his dad, he looks straight like Michael Jackson. But I mean, he do kind of look like his daddy, just a little bit. Now, so I last left off on the part where it's 1977, they're on the set of The Wiz. Michael Jackson, he's 19 years old, and Diana, she's 33 at the time, right? So this is when they really started to bond for real. Like, Michael, he's of age now. So, she started going out to the clubs with him every night. She was taking him to these parties and whatever. But it's been rumored for the past 40 years or whatever that she took Michael Jackson's virginity.
I knew that you were going to be a giant star. I really did.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, but I didn't know. What I didn't know is that you were going to get so sexy.
You're embarrassing me. Well, I always knew you would.
What?
Be sexy.
So what it sounds like, at least publicly, the Wiz bonded those two, in a more so adult form. Maybe that's the part where it went from mother to son, mother and son to brother and sister, and then it was transformed into a whole romantic love type of thing because he started to get older and older. Mind you, it is rumored that Michael proposed to her twice, and she wasn't really taking him seriously because she was an older woman. They have a 14-year gap. They both in the limelight, so it was embarrassing for her and whatever. And because of the fact that she've always known him since he was a little boy, and plus their age gap anyways, which is gonna have people talking, she started to feel embarrassed at some point, so she ran off. She ran off with this Norwegian businessman that she met by the name of Arne Nayes Jr., right? Which is Evan's father. They got married in 1985. And Michael Jackson, he was supposed to attend the wedding, but he canceled very last minute because he said, honestly, it was hurting his heart. And plus, like, he don't know this man. Who is this nigga? Why she married this random dude? Who is he? And that's the son part of him, wondering, oh, I don't know him. Well, I don't like this, or the brother part of him, whoever. But then the romantic lover part of him couldn't bear to even watch this shit happen. Now, I don't know what happened in between the time. All I know is a couple of years later, that's when Dirty Diana came out. Now, from what I read, Michael and Diana Ross, they were secretly hanging out and seeing each other, associating themselves with each other while she was married to this man. So, I don't know if they were sleeping together or what, but people were saying, oh, they had no dealings with each other. They been stopped dealing with each other long before Evan was even thought of. No, they were still dealing with each other. Oh, and according to Pepsi officials, when they did a tour of his house, there was a shrine room of Diana Ross where there are pictures all over her, and they said there were hundreds of candles everywhere. And the candles are lit 24/7. Baby, that's witchcraft. Mind you, she was pregnant with Evan at this time, So it is year 1988, and Diana Ross is pregnant with Evan. Guess what else happened that same year? Dirty Diana was released. So it's the 80s. Michael's, he's in his mid to late 20s, right? So this is during his bad era. This is when he was that nigga. So, like, he got a lot of fans. He got a lot of groupies. Like, everybody, like, he got people passing out at his shows. Like, he is high status. So what's going on? So basically, he still had like a thing, going on with Diana Ross. However, because she was married, they had to secretly see each other, secretly associate themselves with each other. They had to water down their relationship as if they weren't so like this, I guess due to respect for her marriage. However, only Michael knows what was going on behind closed door. I can't say what was going on, but all I know is online it says they were sneaking seeing each other. So that's very telling, interesting. But anyways, so Diana, she's known for being very flirty. She have her past, in the industry. Michael, she told Michael all his secrets, like, throughout the years. Like, they already made that clear, like, they were this close. She told all his secrets. That's what he said. About people that she have slept with, all that. So he know more dirt than we already know. And it's like, back then, people knew back then that Diana, she was that girl, like she was a flirty woman. She had a very flirty aura, and I seen it for myself, honey. She was that girl. I'm like, okay, bitch, like, I'm looking like, okay, honey, you get around a little bit, but oh, okay now. But Yeah, so Michael, he felt like she was a groupie, of people because she would flirt with different artists, and look, the father of her child, her first child, was a executive producer or something like that. Like he was the founder of Motown Records. He was the CEO of Motown Records. He was Michael Jackson's boss. That's Diana's baby daddy. She was 25 and he was 44. So when Michael first met this woman, he already kind of had this first impression that. That's the part where on his Dirty Diana lyrics, he was basically, look, I can't even get my words out. He was basically saying that, she was a hoe. So he said, "You will never make me stay, so I take your weight off of me. I know your every move, so won't you just let me be? I've been here times before, but I was too blind to see that you seduce every man. This time you won't seduce me." Mind you, she had him under his wing, at this time, around this time, like during the 80s, they weren't together. They weren't dating. However, she would come between him and other women. She would show up to these award shows being petty, sitting in his lap in front of women, kissing him in front of women, his dates. She was doing petty things. So that's what he was saying. You take your weight off me, whatever. And she said, "That's okay. Hey, baby, do as you please. I have the stuff that you want. I am the thing that you need." She looked me deep in the eyes. She touching me. So to start, she says, "There's no turning back." She trapped me in her heart. She definitely trapped him in her heart, because he had a whole shrine room full of pictures of Diana Ross with candles that was lit 24/7. Hundreds of candles, really, according to Pepsi officials who did they did a tour of his house. So what else he said on Dirty Diana? He said she likes the boys in the band. She knows when they come to town, every musician's band after the curtains come down. She waits at backstage doors for those who have prestige, who promise fortune and fame, a life that's so carefree. Look here, like I said, Diana, she did used to get around. And like Michael Jackson said, she liked the boys in the band. She stole him from her best friend. This is the leader of Kiss. Cher was her best friend. She took him from her best friend. Mind you, they got 2 kids together, and him and Diana ended up having a 5-year-long love affair. Y'all, Michael was getting down and dirty. He was like, "Bitch, don't play with me." I was like, "The fuck, I ain't that nigga. I ain't that little boy that you thought I was." Y'all, to put your ass out there. But Quincy Jones, he said that Michael needed to remove like a few lyrics off of his song because it would make it obvious that it's specifically for Diana Ross. And then so, he ended up having to change a few things of the song because, he was saying certain things that would kind of, blow its cover on who it's about. So he lied and said it was about groupies, although it was about Diana Ross because she was a groupie. I mean, she social climbed with his ass. Look how she got into the Wiz. She got into the Wiz by bringing Michael Jackson in. So yeah, like, and she pressed around with him, on her arm, and because he had a name to him. So he kept her name alive. And that's the part where he started to get older and gain that frontal lobe. And he started to see that this grown ass woman, she seduced every nigga. I ain't nothing special to her. Oh my God, it's crazy put it that way. Especially like with Michael Jackson because he was so sweet and mysterious like, but hey. But anyways, this is for TikTok entertainment purposes only. This is allegedly, and yeah.
39 years ago today, Diana Ross married Norwegian-German businessman Arne Naas. And though it wasn't the first marriage for both, hella folks showed up. Except for one person, Michael Jackson. I'll tell you why he didn't show up to this wedding, because this is I'll Tell You What. And every day this month, I will be sharing a different story in Love Black History. So, Diana met Arne in the summer of 1985 during a vacation to the Bahamas. He was there with his kids, she was there with hers. Anyway, Arne, who would become Ross and Evan's daddy, was this successful shipping broker that was also known for his outdoor adventures. Like, right before he met Diana, he had just climbed Mount Everest. Before the year was over, not only were they engaged, but the news speculated that they went ahead and got married. Her team wouldn't confirm nor deny it though, but it really didn't matter because come February 1st, 1986, Diana and Arne got married in Switzerland. Diana wore a $12,000 wedding gown, described as a, quote, long white satin and lace gown with a bodice embroidered with pearls. She also had a 6-foot-long train. The gown was designed by designer Elizabeth Courtney. Diana also wore a 250-year-old diamond tiara and had her hair in a chignon. The wedding meal consisted of a roasted veal, and they had a chocolate wedding cake that they flew in from San Francisco. Now, you're probably wondering, where's the Michael Jackson in all of this? We're here. Let me explain. So, despite Diana's dad still being alive, she wanted Michael to walk her down the aisle and to give her away. But their relationship at the time wasn't the best, and maybe this was her way of trying to remedy that. So, I read about this time where Michael invited Diana over after he had gotten some work done, and apparently she was just like staring at his face the whole time. I don't know if the healing hadn't finished or just what, but apparently Michael was hurt. But you have to think about it. Michael and Diana had known each other for years, like basically since he was a child. The Jackson 5 didn't join Motown until the late 1960s when Diana was starting to make her way out of the Supremes. But at that time, she was the girl of Motown. And eventually, Berry Gordy was moving Motown from Detroit to Los Angeles, and Diana moved out there as well because they wanted to open themselves up for more opportunities for the label. The Jackson 5 moved out there as well. Now, because Catherine and Joe were still in Gary and trying to get everything in order so they could move out to California instead, the kids needed somewhere to stay. And so they ended up staying partially with Barry and partially with Diana. And Michael wrote in his autobiography, Moonwalk, how Diana was so nurturing, so kind, so sweet. And for someone who was a celebrity of the level she was then, it really stood out to him that she was so caring when she didn't really have to be. So saying that to say, he always had very fond thoughts of her, has always looked up to her, and some could even speculate had a crush on her. But with her responding in the way she did to his face, allegedly, and the fact that he said that she never introduced him to Arna, he was hurt. I mean, this is a woman that Michael once wrote, quote, "She was my mother, my lover, and my sister, all combined in one amazing person." So, like I said, he thought a lot of her. When Diana asked him to walk her down the aisle and attend this wedding, he essentially protested, like, no. His feelings were hurt. And so his way of showing her that was to not go to Switzerland and attend her wedding. So, yeah. What did you think of that? Did you remember this story? Let me know. Like I told y'all before, come back tomorrow for more Love Black History.
The secrets that Diana and Michael held. Diana, for years, had been known to play with Michael Jackson's feelings and emotions. It was said by many inside sources around Michael that Diana Ross was the love of Michael Jackson's life. Many people have talked about how Diana did not want to fully commit to Michael, but would pop up on many occasions when Michael would be doing better in his life and at his highest moments. It was rumored through sources that Diana had several times not wanted to commit to Michael when he bought her a ring, but did not want anyone else to have him. One of the reasons that Lisa Presley was very hurt when her and Michael were married, that she went to the hospital when Michael was at the hospital and could not get help for him, was ignored, but he sent her off due to Diana Ross coming to visit Michael at the hospital. Lisa was very hurt. He said, "You have to go. I will see you at home." Allegedly, Diana Ross walked through the doors and brought her 2 kids with her to check on Michael, which Michael had to stop at no cost of everyone to stop right in their tracks to send his then wife, Lisa Presley, home. Diana Ross was seen several times with Michael, toying with his emotions. It was told that Diana said that he was not bisexual, but allegedly, but that she knew this for a fact because when they acted on The Wiz together, they had made, allegedly, the big LOVE that night. But Lisa, on the other hand, says that she took Michael's first intimate time with him, allegedly. Also, Diana Ross would pop up every time Michael would seem to have met someone. She did not want him to have no one. He was hers and hers alone. Whenever Michael and Elizabeth Taylor were on stage for the awards and all of the World, We Are the World award, and they were singing together, Diana was said to have very, very, very fastly got in the middle of Elizabeth Taylor and Michael. And it was said by Lionel Richie that he knew that Diana was like, oh, that's my man and my boy toy. I'm gonna get in the middle of this. The song, even though Michael says it's about groupies, Dirty Diana, was, through many sources that confirmed, written about Diana Ross. How she would play games with him whenever she was supposed to be with Michael. And also, he gave her everything, all the love. Is this the reason why Michael disassociated himself and wandered for years alone, trying to look for who he was because of the hurt from being a child? Diana Ross was like a mother figure, but on the other hand, she was like his soulmate. What would separate the two? It was rumored that Michael could be Diana Ross's son and Smokey Robertson's son, and that is the reason why he was given to the Jacksons. But I doubt this very solely because of the sources have said this is just a rumor, but it's been confirmed that Diana did toy with Michael. Diana did play with his emotions, and Diana did not want anyone to talk about Michael. He was her boy toy, and that was known around all the circles. So the reason why Lisa did leave, according to the very close sources, was because Michael sent his wife off because Diana had showed up, and he knew that he still loved Diana. Everyone around him knew the world stopped in its tracks for Diana Ross. She was his one and only. He had very, 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 very big jealousy. He did not want to attend Diana's wedding. He was hurt that Diana had been engaged and married someone else. He was also hurt that Diana and him was supposed to be dating, and she left him for then boyfriend of Cher. Guess who it was? It was no more than the Gene Simmons. Yes, you heard me correct. Diana Ross stole Gene Simmons from Cher, and then on top of it all, to put all of it together, that she was having his ring that Michael had given her. They were engaged secretly, but Mrs. Jackson totally disapproved of it. Diana did not want to go public with it, but to everyone around them, including Kenny Rogers, it was all right there in front of everyone's face. You could see the connection, their soulmates. And she was afraid of her image because Diana was like a mother. I will state again, Diana was like a mother, according to sources, a second mother to Michael, because she helped raise Michael. She would refer to him several times in many of her older later interviews in the 70s as, "That's my son, there's Michael." But the older she got, the older Michael got, there was a known love and affection and attraction for one another. And they said, accordingly to all of the sources, the secret sources, that Michael never overcame this hurt and this pain, that he carried it with him for many years. And even up to the last days, Diana was still the love of his life. He could never replace her. He never knew who he was. He wondered so many times, and when he did find himself, there would be pop-up Diana Ross right there in the middle of everything. Michael's doing better and winning awards, Diana Ross. Michael and Brooke Shields, Diana Ross. Michael and the Wiz, Diana Ross. Michael, anytime of Michael and Lisa, Diana Ross. Michael and Lisa were meant to be, according to sources. But they were both hard-headed and lost souls because of who they were. They did not know how to escape the facade of who they were. They were all very, very similar. But Diana Ross also, for years, lingered when Michael Jackson would be doing better. She sat in his lap in the awards. Anything to get Michael's full attention, and when Michael's attention was on anyone else's, Diana Ross had to make herself center stage. So, was Diana truly in love with Michael at one time and did not want to admit it? Or was Michael in love with her and she didn't want to hurt him? Or was she jealous of Michael being with anyone even though she didn't want to commit? What do you think? All the sources seem to agree that Diana played Michael and she loved him at the same time. But she did not want him to have loved anyone like her. But on the other hand, she did not want to commit to anyone like him. So what is your comment?
I spoke of Michael Jackson, and I said in the last video that features stars that God says nobody should be listening to this man's music because this man was heavily into the occult. This man's surprising giftedness was heavily rounded out with spiritism, occultism, magic. It could even be that some of the things that this man did on camera that everybody said was a first and impossible were not done by human power. Look at these magicians. Look at these people that are openly suspending themselves 6 to 12 inches off the ground. David Blaine and cousins in public. These people are working with things that are not of God. It entertains for a moment, but a moment is very long in hell. A moment is very long on the other side of death. And people need to be aware of these things and just think them through. Repeating these songs and things like that are soaked in this music. God says that as you repeat the lines of the music over and over and over again to yourself and to others, you're actually releasing the incantation and making the spell ever stronger over yourself with each repetition. And he even says that this is why in rock music, they rely on certain riffs, they rely on certain chords, because it excites the demonic realm. The demonic realm is excited by sight, it's excited by sound, it's excited by taste. There's a reason that people put out food to their gods in other cultures. They don't eat the food, obviously. Demons don't come and bother with the steak or whatever they put in there.
The food is symbolic. Just the way you put out food for a cat and the cat comes, putting out this food is calling the demons that actually watch over and represent the brass, stone, and gold entities that they are worshiping in other cultures. There's a reason that people buy certain scents for ritual. There's a reason why in America, the whole nation seems to think, at least the part that's falling away, seems to think that their ancestors will come and watch over them if they burn sage or if they burn certain scents. There's a reason that these red and yellow and green candles in the long, tall Santeria jars with the fake Jesus on them are so popular. There is a reason for everything, and those who live ignorant of the reasons are the first trees to fall. Ignorance is no excuse. Ignorance of spiritual laws, spiritual truth, spiritual realities will not protect you. So I'm not saying go and research this stuff ad nauseum. I strongly do not say that. But I'm saying to live ignorant of these things and say, well, Jesus knows my heart and he's just going to look after me and bless God. No, that is willful ignorance. And it is very dangerous indeed.
Hey guys, I'm Jenny and this is Shameless Plug. So I want to tell you guys about my Crown of Success manifestation book with easy, simple rituals and spells to manifest a life of abundance in your life. And those spells are so easy, even a child can do it. So this book is filled with different spells that I've learned over the years from my family, passed down from grandma and everything. And also those are spells that I've actually tried and I know that they work. So this book not only teaches you step by step on the things that you can do that are so easy that a child can do it, but it tells you like the proper moon phase to use, alchemy, manifesting with numbers, numerology, and also the days of the week that best fit for this particular spell. So it tells you the timing of when to practice the spell, the days of the week, the moon phase. It shows you all the colors of the candles that you should be using and different planets. So for example, I show you like planet Jupiter is for Thursdays and the hours of the days that you should be doing the spell. So this is an easy road opener spell. So I know a lot of people like to do like different spell work, but if your roads are blocked, of course your spells are not going to work. So it's good to unblock yourself first and then start using the spell, especially with the new years and the new days to come. And also I have some amazing spells in here. This is a powerful quick money spell. So if you're in a bind for some money and you're just trying to get some money, and I even have some easy powerful spell to win game of chance. So if you are a gambler, now I don't promote gambling, but if you are a gambler and you're just trying to make some money and trying to make sure you win, these spells will definitely help you. It tells you the best days to do it. So it says the best days to perform this spell is on a Thursday, Jupiter day. Jupiter is the planet of good fortune, luck, and expansion. Jupiter is the best day to perform spells that boost luck and increase your chance of success in any game of chance or any money spell, period. It has a list of so many spells that you can incorporate in your life with this new year to bring prosperity. And I even put some bonus spells on here, which for Saturday is a day to do like protection work. So I have a spell for like send back to senders. So I put some bonus spells on here, and then a protection with Archangel Michael. So there's so many spells on here. Removing the evil eye spell, so you can remove evil eye in your money and also in your everyday life. New Year home blessing spell, and I know it's been a few days since the new year started, but you can always do a home blessing spell any days of the week. As long as you need it, you could do it. So anyways, guys, this is my book. It's called Crown of Success by Jenny, and it's available on Amazon, the ebook and also the physical copy. So please grab a copy if you're interested in supporting this channel. This is a way to support the channel and to support me as well for putting out, content every day for you guys. So enjoy. So I hope you guys enjoyed this book, and I hope you go and grab your copy, whether it's the ebook or the physical copy. I say have a physical copy, but it's really up to how much, your wallet and what you can afford. So anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Mwah. This is a shameless plug, so just check out my channel, okay? Love you guys. Mwah.